Hey guys, welcome back to my mother channel. It's early in the morning. This is literally the earliest I've ever filmed a YouTube video before. I normally film at night, but my sleeping schedule has been a complete shit show lately. I tried to fix it last night and I ended up waking up 2:30 in the morning, and now it's 9:30 in the morning and I'm ready to fucking film a YouTube video. Also, I'm a fucking liar because I said the next video that I'll put out will be Hunter Biden, and that is fucking coming. It's actually in my brain turned into something else and I haven't really let you guys know, but I'm kind of doing a so-called deep dive on Joe Biden and all the fuckery that he has brought to Washington ever since he first fucking got into Senate, maybe even a little bit earlier. It's probably going to be a two-parter, probably around 30 minutes each is my guess. It's a lot of work. It's hurting my brain. It's killing me slowly. And I have a lot of shit I want to talk about other than that. So here we fucking are, okay? Forgive me. Yeah, maybe. No, I don't know. But I'm doing it anyways. I feel like I sound like I'm on drugs, but I'm not. I need to chill just a little. I'm gonna take a few hits and I'll come back to you. I'll probably have to do this once or twice because all the topics I'm talking about today are kind of serious and kind of fucked up. Normally I try to bring humor at least to this kind of shit, but it's just all bad. God damn it. I didn't load a fresh bowl before. Ow. Beep boop. Wait. So first and foremost, on the topic of Roe vs. Wade, I hate this topic. I actually fucking hate it. I feel like it's something that is constantly used at times of convenience, which is very convenient for the Democrats to try to use this as a way to villainize Republicans once again, when really it's not anything that drastic if you really look at it.
Is a Supreme Court acting as a legislative body. And understand that if this decision is ultimately the decision of the court, it doesn't outlaw abortion. All it says is we're saying it's not a constitutional right. Congress can pass a law. So if Chuck Schumer is so fired up, pass a law, Chuck. Every state can pass its own law. They can negate it. They can ban it. They can promote it, whatever they want to do.
It's just a controversial topic meant to divide people, in my opinion, and that's how it's always used. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle of one extreme to the other. I think medical freedom's a thing, but I also think when you have to start dismembering parts to get it out of a woman's body, maybe that should be considered murder. Because, it is. Up to 8 weeks would be my personal opinion on what is right or wrong, but everyone's different, and that's why it's such a fucking horrible topic to just keep bringing up, to get ahead. I think it's really fucked up because it actually does deeply affect some people on, emotional levels. Whether, you really find yourself on one spectrum of not wanting them to be done, or if you're someone who had to get one and you fucking regret it, or just it can really affect people, and I think it's fucked up that people, they just bring it up for fucking fun. The Senate failed to make it permanent, and Kamala Harris's response, in my opinion, is very disgusting.
This vote clearly suggests that the Senate is not where the majority of Americans are on this issue. It also makes clear that a priority for all who care about this issue, a priority should be to elect pro-choice leaders at the local, the state, and the federal level. Because what we are seeing around this country are extremist Republican leaders who are seeking to criminalize and punish women for making decisions about their own body.
I hate her and everything about her. And I'm so sick of women saying that this is about their bodies. Again, if you have to dismember a body to get it out of another body, I would some consent on if I get fucking dismembered or not. If a baby, especially with the way that Democrats advocate for full-term abortion, I don't understand who that's serving.
Abortion goes. You have been quoted as saying that the fetus has no constitutional rights. You also voted against a ban on late-term partial birth abortions. Why?
Because Roe v. Wade very clearly sets out that there can be regulations on abortion so long as the life and the health of the mother are taken into account.
Northam of Virginia for supporting a bill in his state that would have allowed abortion up until and during birth.
Teen Vogue, which describes itself as the young person's guide to conquering and saving the world, is running a series of web articles defending late-term abortion procedures. In one of the articles, the author described what it was like for her to undergo an abortion at 28 weeks. She then praised New York and Virginia for, quote, their efforts to cut the medically unnecessary regulations on later abortion. In another article, the author argued that the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision did not go far enough.
If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want California to do? Would you want your home state to enact no restrictions on access to abortion? And
the issues before us couldn't be more serious. There's the issue of choice, and I will always fight for a woman's right to make a decision about her own body. It should be her decision and not that of Donald Trump and the Vice President, Michael Pence.
Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Yes.
So abortion should be allowed then, by your definition, for any reason, for any purpose, at any stage, right?
I trust people to make decisions about their body, and then when relevant, I think that they need to consult their medical practitioners.
Okay.
And not
if
Congress.
it is, listen, let me just ask you this question. If it is not lawful and morally acceptable to take the life of a 10-year-old child, I assume you agree with that, right? That would be wrong, correct?
I believe that.
Okay.
That is
and
wrong.
A 2-year-old child, same thing. That would be murder. We would all agree that's wrong. Then what is the principal distinction between the human being that is 2 years old, or 9 months old, or 1 week old, or an hour old, than one that is 8 inches further up the birth canal in the utero? What's the difference? Why is it okay in the latter case and not the former cases?
I trust people to determine what to do with their own bodies.
Wow.
That's so fucking morbid and weird to advocate for. And then, like, to go around villainizing other people because they don't believe in dismembering something that is alive and could actually, like, if someone took care of it, obviously, but, like, it's functioning well enough, it can live outside of the womb and be fine. But you want to dismember that and say that that's a woman's body, a woman's issue. Like, what? I mean, they're just feeding into people who, like, believe that the government's, like, sacrificing unborn children and, like, drinking their blood. Like, that, like, because I really don't know what other group of people would advocate for that. It's fucking weird. It's scary, actually, that anyone would. Most babies are fully formed, like, have all things within the body of what, like, by the 3rd trimester, easily, I think. And it's just a matter of putting on fat, like, especially towards, like, the second half of the 3rd trimester. But other than that, they could live. You don't just get to grow something for 9 months that you know is going to be alive, has a heartbeat, is a person growing inside you, like, growing more and more every day. And then at the end of 9 months, get to be like, oh, actually, this is a woman's issue, and I don't want this anymore, so go ahead and kill it. Like, what? If you advocate for that, you're fucking weird, and you need help. That's all I'm gonna say on that as far as my opinion goes. Because it's a very touchy topic, and I just, that shit, full-term abortion shit, those people should maybe be jailed. I don't know what the fuck is going through their minds, but it's not normal. Something else I want to talk about, for just a slightly lighter note before we go dark again, Biden and his little nicknames for people who are Republicans and or, like, Trumpians. Like, what do we call people who are just, like, for Trump and not necessarily Republican? I don't know. Ultra MAGA Republicans. He called Trump the MAGA king. I don't know if he thinks he's, like, being clever, because he's not. And it almost feels a little bit like he's trying to be like Trump when he gives out nicknames. Like, that's what Trump did.
Is the Ultra MAGA plan. It's called, I call it the Ultra MAGA plan. And the Ultra MAGA Republicans, my predecessor, the great MAGA king.
But calling Trump the Make America Great Again king isn't a bad name. If anything, it's a compliment. I don't understand what he thinks he's gaining by saying that. Because we all know calling names, like, where you literally call half the country, essentially, some sort of insult, like, it doesn't ever win you points. It just makes their dislike of you stronger. So, you know, so much for fucking unity, Biden, right? Not that that's ever been, like, mistaken as what you're actually in there for. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. it only makes people think more and more about the contrast between Biden and Trump. And I think everybody, whether they'd admit it out loud or not, knows financially they were better under Trump. It's a fact. I was thriving under Trump. I don't know one person who hasn't been affected by the prices of literally everything these days. And it really hasn't been that long. It's so scary. It's so scary what this country's going to look like in over 2 more years. We're looking like a third world country lately. Which leads me into the formula shortage. What the fuck is that about? As a mom, like, my kids are 4 and 6. So, like, literally just 3 years ago, I was one of those parents who fucking had my kid on formula and shit. And it's just like, I would fucking be in a panic. I would be stressing so hard. I'd be crying all the time. It makes me want to cry just, like, thinking about these people. I'm not... I'm getting, like, emotional talking about this. I feel so bad for all these parents with little babies. Like, I honestly... It makes me emotional thinking about it. Because, like, it could have... It just... I know the stress I already felt with just simply, like... formula prices already being so expensive, and now the people who have to drive 3-4 hours with gas prices as high as they are just to try to find 2 or 3 cans of formula for the baby before they have to go do that shit again.
Gina Cheeseman from Sound Beach, New York, finds herself driving around for hours with her 10-month-old son, Mateo. Like so many new moms across the USA, all she sees are bare shelves.
Wyoming, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, and New York. Luckily, we got 2 cans out of all of those states.
Then she found someone selling formula online at a huge markup.
There's a special place in hell for someone like this.
Inventory is so low, stores have set limits on how much parents can buy.
These tickets indicate that you can take one up there and you can buy formula. However, they're actually all out.
That's so fucked up, and it didn't need to happen. And I can't believe that more shit isn't being talked about Biden, honestly. Like, he should have the fucking whole country yelling at him for this. It makes me so sad for these parents. Oh God, I'm trying not to cry. I just really hope somehow, like, a miracle happens and the shortage stops, because right now it's at, like, 43%, like, national shortage average or something like that. It's insane. I can't imagine going through that right now. Like, that has to be horrible. God. Oh, I just really feel bad for them. Whew. And now there's reports that formula is fully fucking stocked and ready to go by the masses for women at the border trying to come here illegally. What a giant fucking piece of shit Biden is for that. Like, good for them, I guess, but they're coming here. Like, what about the actual citizens of the fucking country? Caring about every other country just makes, and putting them first just puts America last. It really shows us who our president is. He's a fucking cowardly, self-serving, corrupt piece of shit, and I cannot wait till the day he fucking dies. I can't wait for that news to break. It can't come soon enough. I honestly wish, I hope it's a horrible, tragic, painful, awful, slow fucking death for him at this point. Because the things he's doing to so many people's lives, he deserves even worse than that. If hell's a real place, I hope he fucking goes there ASAP. At least 75% of parents in this country rely, at least partially, on baby formula. And the national shortage is at almost 50%. And it didn't have to happen. That's Mr. Empathy, that's Mr. Unity, that's Mr. fucking Moral Code. That's Joe Biden from Scranton, you know? Really fucking shining star, right? Congratulations to everybody and anybody who voted for him. I dub you a fucking moron. Which leads me, while we're talking about, focusing on other countries' needs instead of our own, Ukraine aid. Anyone else sick of this yet? Thank God for Jesse Waters for having this friendly jokester type demeanor that led Lindsey Graham into thinking he was going into a safe place where he wouldn't be questioned at all. He was able to get Lindsey Graham on his show and I guess convince him that he wouldn't be questioned at all. And that's what he did basically immediately. Thank God. I'm just going to show you these clips from it where Lindsey Graham just exposed himself for being such a fake, fucking, fraudulent, corrupt politician. Like, typical politician. Here.
They run out of money in terms of buying weapons, I think, at the middle of May. So the Ukrainian army is delivering a whoop-ass on the Russian army. They're about to run out of ammunition. They're not asking for any soldiers. I thought pulling the plug on Ukraine would make any problem better here. I would entertain it, but our problems here don't get better by allowing Putin to win in Ukraine because he won't stop.
Yeah, but can't we do both, Senator?
We actually can start.
Can't we do fast track for America?
Totally.
Everything's fast track for overseas, but can we fast track it here?
You know, listen, I'm with you. Everything you say, I agree with. Listen, you understand the importance of getting Putin stopped in Ukraine because he's going to keep going. China will take Taiwan, but if the Ukrainian military can stop him in the Ukraine without any American soldiers, that's a great day for freedom. That's a great day for America. But here's what I want to tell your listeners. If we can win in Ukraine, and I think we can stop Putin, the world gets better overnight. If he takes Ukraine, he doesn't get prosecuted as a war criminal, he'll keep going. He wants to rewrite the map of Europe.
You said that Joe Biden would be the man to heal the country and unite us and bring us all together. Let's listen and get your reaction.
And Biden will help that, right? Yeah, totally. He'll be maybe the best person to have, right? I mean, how bad can you get it with Joe Biden?
I was wrong.
It makes me sick how much of a politician Lindsey Graham is. He thinks he's so smooth. He thinks that he could just, be a man of the people. I understand what you're saying.
Listen, I'm with you.
It's so transparent at this point. Like, he's done this for how many years? It's so clear the enjoyment he gets about talking about beating down Russia.
So the Ukrainian army is delivering a whoop-ass on the Russian army.
He doesn't give a fuck about what goes on here. He's wanted Russia's butthole, just like he wants every other dude's butthole, for years now. He is the exact type of rhino trash I would be glad to see go. We have to stop buying into these smooth talking, like, say everything right but don't actually do anything right type of politicians. We really do. He doesn't represent me. I've been screaming it for years now that he is a bad person, a bad politician. He's a liar. He's a fraud. And it's like finally everybody's starting to catch on. Him and Tucker Carlson do not fucking get along. I even saw him throw kind of a jab at Tucker Carlson for his belief that Russia would actually ever invade Ukraine.
And common sense tells you that Putin's not going to stop in Ukraine. Common sense tells you he was going to invade.
And we all know that Lindsey Graham won't go on Tucker Carlson. He's afraid of him at this point because he knows he's going to be grilled. Lindsey Graham is such a piece of shit. You know who wasn't? You know who's still my number one? And I try not to get too graphic. I've actually edited out a lot of what I've said about Rand Paul in the past. That I will let him impregnate me type of things. Because I don't mean it. I don't mean it in a way that I'm sexually attracted to Rand Paul. I'm sexually attracted to his brain, he's just mentally so amazing to me, so impressive, so fantastic. And I would marry that man in a different life if he looked a little different and wasn't so old. I love his mind and I love his bravery. Because no one else, even if they're thinking it, which I think actually a lot of people are, but they're fucking cowards, he'll go up and say this shit and own it and fucking stand by it and be annoying about it. I love that. Thank God for Rand motherfucking Paul. Here's him being amazing.
My oath of office is to the U.S. Constitution, not to any foreign nation. And no matter how sympathetic the cause, my oath of office is to the national security of the United States of America. We cannot save Ukraine by dooming the U.S. economy. This bill under consideration would spend $40 billion. This is the second spending bill for Ukraine in 2 months, and this bill is 3 times larger than the first. Since 2014, the United States has provided more than $6 billion in security assistance to Ukraine, in addition to the $14 billion Congress authorized just a month ago. If this bill passes, the U.S. will have authorized roughly $60 billion in total spending for Ukraine. For those who say this is not enough, For those of you in this chamber who say that our military spending is never enough, let's put $60 billion into perspective. According to Elias Youssef, a security assistant at the Stimson Center, Kiev would become the largest yearly recipient of U.S. military aid of the past 2 decades. Except for the top 5 countries, $60 billion is more than every other country in the world spends on their entire military expenditures. If this gift to Ukraine passes, our total aid to Ukraine will almost equal the entire military budget of Russia. And it's not as if we have that money lying around. We will have to borrow that money from China.
Okay, so that is the end of this video. I will try to get that fucking Joe Biden, Hunter Biden expose type shit out as quickly as possible, but I want it to be good, especially if I'm spending this long on it. So like I'm meticulously going through things and putting them, it's a fucking process that someone who has a very short attention span like me and gets frustrated easily like me, it's hard for me to do, but I'm working on it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe. I'll see you, you'll see me next time. Bye guys.